Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar, STEM Careers and Skills of the Future, Challenges and Opportunities in the Chemical Industry. My name is Evita Tassiopoulou and I will be moderating today's session. Our speakers today are Anna Montenegro and Daniel Zweifel, who I will introduce in a few minutes in a bit more detail. Before we get to them though, I have a few technical details that I want to share with you. So as you can see, my colleague Bjorn is hiding behind the Bjorn EUN account, so he will be the one helping you with any technical problems that you may have. So if you have any problems during the session, feel free to write to him privately and he will respond to you right away. Now, today's webinar is co-organized by the STEM Alliance and Scientix, two projects that address STEM teachers across Europe and beyond. Going to our speakers, I would like to tell you a little bit about them and their background. Starting with Ana Montenegro, she is a Spanish chemical engineer working in Repsol chemical business, leading all cross-cutting projects that ensure the innovation and continuous improvement. She has an experience of 20 years in chemistry, having passed through different positions within Repsol: technical assistance and development or polyolefins manager, product manager in pipes, cables, auto, polypropylene, EVA, ENIVA, and many more. In addition, she has been the president of the Spanish Committee of Plastics for Agriculture in Spain and vice president of the International Committee. Currently, she is chair of the Young EPCA think tank, and as a professional, she is committed to the evangelization of chemistry in society. Moving on to our next speaker, Daniel has studied chemistry education at the University for Applied Sciences in Zurich, in Switzerland. He is looking back to 32 years of industrial experience in application technology for various industries at Dow Europe. During his time, he has worked for 16 years in application development in the constructions and coatings industry. He also worked 2 years full-time in the Six Sigma Black Belt for the production optimization of chemical plants, as well as 2 years on leveraged technical service organization optimization through design for Six Sigma. Moreover, he has worked 9 years in the research and development application development for industrial and automotive lubricants. Since 2015, he is active in crop defense solutions, technical service and development at Dow Europe. The purpose of today's webinar is to give teachers, career counselors, educational authorities, and researchers an understanding of careers which can be developed in the STEM field. And today specifically, we are focusing on chemistry. Our speakers will explain their professional evolution and how they manage to stay relevant in times of change. We will first start with Anna's presentation, which will last for approximately 20 minutes, and then Daniel will also present for another 20 minutes. We will then have 15 minutes to address any questions to our speakers that you are going to contribute through the chat. So please feel free to post any questions that you have throughout the entire webinar. That's all from me, so I will leave the floor to our first presenter, Anna. Enjoy.
Hello, could you hear me well? Well, I suppose it is, okay. I'm going to start with, trying to introduce myself. I'm Ana Montenegro, as Evita was telling you. I'm working in Repsol. Repsol is a multinational Spanish oil and gas company. Do you know Repsol? I'm pretty sure because the motorbikes, the Honda Repsol MotoGP, okay, well known around the world. We are a Spanish oil and gas company, and I'm in the business unit of the chemical part. Actually, I'm the business development senior manager, and we are implementing the Repsol growth strategy in chemicals, actual strategy, of course, and my main challenge is to assure the innovation in polyolefins. What are the polyolefins? Well, I'm pretty sure you can know it, okay, but they are the most common plastics. And as you can imagine, it's a really challenging job to be. I'm really proud to be in chemicals all my life, and I'm going to speak to you more about how I started working in Repsol. Well, I'm going to start with my studies. For sure, well, as Evita was telling you, I studied chemicals, the chemical degree first, and after I finished it with the chemicals engineering. Why? Because I think at the end, to cover this chemical vision with this innovation project vision and the way to develop them is really important. And I've chosen this career because I love the STEM. I think one of my most well-known attitudes are the energy. I think curiosity is really important to be in a STEM career, but at the end, it's not only the STEM as studies. It's because for me, this kind of studies open your mind. It's a really broad vision that gives you the possibility to, as I'm going to share with you, a really open-minded vision to be surrounding all the possibilities in a big company as Repsol is, as an example. But if you want to change from one company to another, it's going to give you a lot of possibilities. Well, if I have to tell you why really I started to study chemistry, was one of my teachers. I think is one of the most important vision for the students. At the end, during years, I've been having different teachers in different levels, okay? But, you know, this teacher that gives you the vision that you need to be, that's the vision I have about my future. In my case, I was studying in a private school. Was Sister Angeles. I was in a Catholic school, and she believes on me. She believes on STEM, and she believes that the way to learn chemistry, maths, or physics, and all the subjects I were studying with her was really, really, really motivating, exciting, and it's because these kind of careers they are really exciting. They leave you to open your mind, to test, to do trials, to do experiments, okay? And I love them. That was the first point when I decided to be in a STEM career. After, when I started, I think I'm really proud to say that I'm all my life in Repsol. This year is my 21st year in this company. And I started in technical service and development, touching customers. I think is the best way to start with, because as technical service, you have to know really well the product you are explaining your customers. They are using this product. I'm going to try to explain you more, but you can imagine I was, for example, in the automotive sector. What does it mean? I was Repsol is selling polypropylene. Polypropylene is one of the products that you can find in any point you touch the interior of your car, and this product is made on plastic, and it gives the car lightness. Okay, as much plastic is in the car, the weight is less, and the fuel that is consumed is less. And as you can imagine, the carbon foot is better, and the sustainability of the world is better, of course. And that's why, just to show you that plastics are in the car, and I'm pretty proud to be working, for example, on that. When I was technical service, I was presenting my customers a product that is the polypropylene, but my product is sell on pellets, little small parts of plastic, and these small parts of plastic has to be shaped in this the final parts you can touch in your car. In that moment, my position was to try to have all the properties is needed. For example, is needed to absorb any impact when you have any problem in your car or an accident. The plastic can have to be covering you, and has to be really safe if it's breaking, or during the moment you are implementing the car, has to be really efficient, putting in every part on the car. And that's my position as technical service, but the most important is that I have to additivate, put things in the polypropylene to change these properties. That's the really chemical. And we were analyzing in the lab the properties. We were sending them to our customers, trying to understand what's their needs and how to solve any problem, looking at the final usage in your life, in your daily basis, okay? After I passed to the commercial, I was continuing in this line because I was in different applications, but just to explain you what was my path in Repsol. After I was working in commercial, I was selling this kind of product, the polypropylene. I continued with the same customers, but the first moment, my boss in this moment told me, you have to pass through commercial. I say, no, I'm chemical. No, you are pretty well as a product manager. And I said, are you sure? They believe on me. I started to be product manager for the polypropylene in automotive, and I have to tell you, was perfect for me, because at the end, it's not only the chemical, I know, it's the capabilities you are touching, you are reaching, and your relation with your customers, the way you understand not only the what you need, is again the how you sell them to this kind of products, the kind of properties. After from the technical, I was to the commercial in several applications, and after I passed through another more transversal situation, that is now the development for the whole polyolefins, now as a manager for the whole technical service. In this moment, I was touching 65 people working with me, and well, as you can imagine, the challenge was to be developing people to do the same thing I was doing before, and it's really challenging. And after I changed to innovation, what means open the mind of everybody in chemicals in Repsol to continue developing products, to continue developing relations. And well, I think that's more or less my career. Sometimes I would like to tell you that I have to tell you something that is really important. It's not only the degree, it's the curiosity. You have to love challenges, situations. If you want to improve the world you live, chemicals, well, or any STEM, because I have to tell you, not only in the company there are not only chemicals, but there are a lot of mathematics people, because more and more we are giving steps on digitalization. In digitalization, data analytics is key to help our customers to predict properties they are going to need, or even to improve the way Repsol do things in logistics, because that's another point really important, logistics. If you are thinking on how you sell, just the last step to give the product our customers need is to have a really well value chain. I mean, from the development to the production, after you have to send them, and he has to be on time on your customer. I think more or less that's the vision I can give you about my experience in my company. And I have to speak just a bit about the EPCA. EPCA is an association, the European Petrochemical Association. I encourage you to go to the website EPCA/education, because we have a lot of information about role models of a lot of colleagues as me telling you about their experience, a lot of possibilities to touch the industry with professionals in different places all around Europe. And I think it's very important. I mean, if you ask me, I don't know if it's going to be your vision about how I can balance this with my life. I'm a two-boys mother with a pretty family, and I'm not going to tell you it's easy, of course, but it's my life. I mean, my life is to be working as a professional, living as a mother, and how I can balance everything. But sometimes I don't know, but it is possible. It is possible because you need, we are a family. I can have help when I travel, because I travel a lot all around Europe or around the world. And well, I think, well, my boys, I have a 9 and a 12, both boys. And I think they are pretty happy to be in this family, and it is possible. And I encourage you, if you want to be fighting for your career, for your future. I'm a 44 years old mother in a 20 years career in STEM, going up in my organization, and it's not a problem to be a woman and to be in the STEM. Okay, I encourage you. I think more or less that's all the thing I want to tell you. And I don't know, well, I'm going to wait to your questions. I'm here to listen you and to answer you about every question you want to tell me.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the very, very interesting presentation and the real presentation.
Okay.
Shall we move on to Daniel then?
Yes. Thank you very much, Evita, for the introduction. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and also listening to Anna, what she just told here, hearing her enthusiasm about chemistry and Repsol and lubricants and polypropylene. I can really share this enthusiasm for chemistry. And when I think back on how it actually started, my older brother got to Christmas a box, an educational set of different chemical reactions you can do at home. And I think that was one of the initial sparks who got me into chemistry and followed through the whole, my whole professional career, which is actually still something which keeps me going and keeps me interested. I can still have a lot of fun with chemical reactions or crystal growth or something nice to see, something visual. And I would like to also really try and share my enthusiasm for chemistry as well as Anna has just done this before. Now I have I'm a Swiss citizen. I live here very close to Zurich and close to the headquarters of Dow in Europe. And I'm a father of 3 boys. I'm very lucky. My wife, only works part-time, but it was also possible for me to have a lot of fun with my boys, and 2 of them also follow a technical career, which I'm very, very happy. Maybe we can go to the next. I can move my slides myself. I realized that. So I wanted to very quickly explain you where Dow is, and maybe you have heard in the past that Dow has been together with DuPont for 1.5 years, maybe roughly, and we have split up in 3 different companies. And basically, I am still in the original Dow, in the new Dow, which is a material science company. We have also split that up into an agricultural company called Corteva Agri-Science, and also in a specialty chemical company, DuPont, which is going to happen later on this year. So basically, Dow is a solution provider for the industry with a major focus in packaging, specialty plastics, performance materials, where I am also part of industrial intermediates and infrastructure. We have, maybe I move here to the next slide. Here you see on the left-hand side the building blocks. Now, Anna has also talked about the petrochemical industry, and this is also our focus from a raw material point of view. You have the key building blocks are cellulosics. We use cotton, linter, or also wood, and chemically modify these products to become water soluble, which is a product which is used heavily in the industry for instance, mortars or for paints, to produce paints or coatings. Acrylates for binders, and we modify ethylene and propylene to make an oxide out of it, to make very interesting polymers out of it. We have also polyolefins, which are used, for instance, for packaging, silicones, as anti-foaming agents for production processes, but also various other chemicals. We have in the company, I think we are over, we have a lot of people, thousands of people, and a lot of specialists which can help us here in the technical service and development department for our customers. We have high throughput research which helps to produce or to generate data, empirical data. We have polymer science specialists. We have people understanding the materials very well. We have people who understand also the formulations very well. And also, last but not least, application development, where I am based in really helping customers to use our products. As target markets, I mentioned we have packaging infrastructure and consumer solutions. We have to follow global trends such as sustainability. We want to produce in future, and also now products which can be reused. We try to reduce or improve the efficiency of our products, and also use renewable sources. I mentioned cellulosics before, but it can also be castor oils, for instance. We modify to make high performance products out of it, and also other type of chemistries which are partly derived from nature. I am actually started, as I mentioned this interest at school, that I was always interested in technical correlations to understand how things are actually working, also from a mechanical point of view. I mean, it was fascinating to see my first chemical reaction, a change over from one product to another with a nice color change, or some reactions which create some nice fire, like fireworks. I was always interested in that, in the composition of matter. I are also very much in favor of looking at molecules, molecular structure, and what actually the human beings could make out of chemistry to develop a model which can be used as foundation to build many different substances. I started my career in chemistry, in STEM, really as an apprentice at the as a laboratory technician in the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich, where I could really get my feet wet into this classical wet chemistry, which is very visual. I worked in the Institute of Food Science, which is basically a lot of analytical work to look at what is included in in food, what type of elements and minerals or polymers you have in food. It's a very hot and interesting topic. I moved on then to a bachelor in chemistry at the University of Applied Sciences, with a focus on organic chemistry, which I still like very much. I mean, a lot of pharmaceutical substances, or also products used, for instance, for crop protection, are coming from all the knowledge we have from organic molecules. And I started then after my studies immediately at Dow, when I was 23 years old in the Technical Service and Development Department. And I'm actually still in this Technical Service and Development Department, which means that we basically work very closely together with customers to develop new products, help them to adjust the products Dow produces to their needs to produce mortars or paints or coatings or catalysts or any product which comes into a final application then. So I started in the area of cellulosic chemistry, which is basically our thickeners, rheology modifiers, which helps to thicken, for instance, mortars or adhesives in the construction area. I worked quite some time, totally 16 years in the dry mortar technology, spray plasters, which means we have the chemistry at hand in the house, but also go to the customers on building sites or in their laboratory and do like pilot plant tests. We spray their mortars on the wall and see whether it's sticky enough that it stays there and it dries properly, that finally people can put another coating on it, that you have a nice living room in the end, which gives a nice climate and a nice look to, for instance, an interior building in a house. But we also have mortars to improve the insulation of plaster or of houses, to reduce the fuel or the oil used for heating, for instance. Just at the switch here, and also for instance for coatings, that the coating has a nice homogeneous look and stays on the wall and is stable as well. And I moved then from this technical service role more into project management, which is also very important. And I would also give you a bit of a flavor on how important I see project management and the capability of working together in teams. There is no such thing like developments or big inventions done in garages or as a one woman or one man show. Today in the industry, people work very much in teams, and it is very important that we get on well with each other, to be productive, to understand each other well, to have good communication skills. Very important for project management, as I learned with Six Sigma. I had there the opportunity and the pleasure to optimize some of the production processes we had. It was a bit of a move away from technical service and helping customers to improve their formulations, but help our internal production process to be improved, to get more consistent quality, or having a higher throughput, a higher yield, make more efficient use of the production process, basically. When I move on then in my 16 years as a project manager in Six Sigma and technical service and development engineer, I moved on then to leverage technical service, which is basically a similar type of function, but with a much broader base of different chemistries. So I looked not only after cellulosics, but also solvents, which are used in detergents, in cleaning, in paints as well, and in a lot of different applications in the industry, but also amines, intermediates, which again are used to make chemical reactions, to make aspirin or to make a pesticide or other type of products. During this time, I was focusing also on the design for Six Sigma, like helping to build an organization which is working well together, helping getting the best data and information to our customer or from a technical service point of view. After these periods, I was moving to more research and development, which is more like a step back into the molecules and base product development. And this is where we started to work with lubricants. Lubricants, maybe not a typical lubricants, you know, from like what Anna has presented before, from polyolefins, from the pure hydrocarbon-based technology, but polyether products, which have a very good friction coefficients, which help really to have very low energy consumption during the operation of any machinery which needs a lubricant. For instance, a car, a gearbox in a car, or in a wind turbine, or in any mechanical part. You need a lot of lubricant to reduce actually the friction and reduce the energy consumed to make the equipment run. So we developed for industrial applications such as gearboxes, but also for engine oils. I mean, every passenger car has about 5, 6, or maybe 8 liters of engine oil included, which helps to run the engine properly, reliably, efficiently as well. And we developed some solutions with polyethers, which give a very high fuel efficiency as well, to improve or reduce actually the fuel consumption per kilometer driven, and get to the next generation of lubricants. This was a very exciting time for me. We did not only work with passenger cars and typical brands, you know, maybe from the industry, talking about Volkswagen, Toyota, or any big brand you know, but also we were even involved in race car engine oil development, which was of course very exciting to be at, with a special flavor. After these 7 or 8 years, where we also looked at gearbox development, like wind turbines, which is also a part of the whole sustainability efforts our society goes through with renewable energy, where we help to improve also the energy efficiency of wind turbines, creating with the same amount of wind in the same time more energy with an improved lubricant as well, which was also part of or is a part of these big efforts being undertaken for higher efficiency, more sustainable solutions which also help us in future to have environmentally friendly technologies which help again our society to be more efficient, reduce the CO2 outputs, and help to save the planet basically. On the move towards, again, back to technical service and development, I had then from 2015 onwards the pleasure to work in the agricultural industry, not full at developing basically the active pesticides, but all the adjuvants, the products which help really to formulate crop protection products to reduce or control, for instance, the insects which eat fruits, or fungi which can damage, for instance, crop or cereals or wheat, tomato or potatoes yield, or also additives or crop protection products which help to control the growth of wheat for a more sustainable and more efficient agricultural industry, where we help with our adjuvants, with our products, to actually reduce the consumption of these pesticides, to have also a good and sustainable food production, which is important for the growing population in the world, but also the reduction of arable land really. also water scarcity to improve yield and help the plants to grow better and have more crop yields, for instance. And for that we have Dow has a lot of different products available which help and improve formulation stability and enhance the effects to be able to use less material for the same type of effects in the field. So this is actually where I'm still working at. I have the pleasure to be here, the application technology leader for this area, helping our commercial people, our marketing people, but my colleagues as well, to be in front of customers, to discuss with customers and make proposals on what to use, also generate data in the laboratory. We have actually an application laboratory where we develop formulations, look at stabilities and make proposals to our customers. So it's on one hand really an interesting interface towards the customers, to make proposals, but also internal to tell our production people and quality people how new products should look like, or how improve some aspect of the formulations, and understanding what future products will be needed. So when you are actually interested, I mean, in a STEM career and in, for instance, in Dow, I mean, I encourage you to go to our corporate website and look at the field here on careers, see what type of jobs or product work positions are posted there, or get in contact with us. I'm very happy also to offline answer some questions if you would have them, if you want to contact me later as well. So there's a broad range of technical STEM positions available, and I have spent most of my career here in technical service and development. And what I really enjoyed most is how versatile, how different the aspects of this job is when you talk to customers and understand their needs and translate them into the laboratory, into new molecules, into new designs, and try to develop proposals, formulations for customers to help them to improve their products, basically with very good and interesting targets to also fulfill regulatory requirements, but also to develop really sustainable long-term solutions which help all of us in the end. And I think that's a key to me. It's a very high satisfying job, because it's really a key building block within the development and in the chemical industry, the development of new molecules to help really customers and end users to get better products, if you want. So please, I hope I have also raised some appetite for you for STEM, for a technical career path. I hope you find the next step, and if you have any questions, I think also Anna and myself are more than welcome to try and answer some of your questions.
Thank you very much. Both Anna and both Daniel, I think they have given us very complete presentations, both regarding the actual work, but also we had the personal factor as well. So we understood a little bit more about your daily life and the challenges as well. So let's turn to some of the questions that we have received in the chat. So I will start with a question from Vera for Anna. And Vera is saying that one challenge for the chemical industry in the future may be the current trend towards banning plastics in everyday life. So how does this trend affect the plastic producing companies? Anna, I think you are muted.
Sorry. I think it's a really good and challenging question. I mean, in the plastics industry, all our life we are thinking on sustainability, but nowadays the visibility of a big problem far from Europe really, but a worldwide problem is really visible, and it's this banning plastics. How it's covering our companies this kind of challenge? Well, for years, no, there is a new study, okay? We are working in several projects. But one reality is the mechanical recycling. That's a reality in all our lives. I mean, I'm speaking about Europe, okay, because it's the best, well-known from my part, okay? And in Europe, we are doing sorting of the plastics you put on your waste. This plastics is circular implemented in our daily lives again. I mean, we take the plastics from the waste and we reprocess it to finally put it in again in an application. I mean, that's the best way to recycle. I encourage all of you to recycle, to separate your waste at your home. Well, in Spain it's in the yellow bin. I don't know in the rest of Europe the color of the bin, but to separate in the plastics or in the packaging envelope waste bin. Okay, that's the first. And the European Commission is clear, really clear. That's the first, and is in all our hands. The next step, that's for polyolefins are 100% recycling. I mean, we are really working because our products are really can have a second, a third, and a fourth layer, or even a fifth, because the quality of the polyolefins they are really 100% recycling. And another step we are giving forward is to implement chemical recycling. That's a challenge. What's chemical recycling? Chemical recycling means we go to the final landfill, okay, that this landfill is growing, okay, and we are going to take all, not only the plastic, the organic waste, and we are going to repolymerize, okay, it's a way to repolymerize again and do again a 100% usable in a lot of applications plastic. That's the way the industry is working. We are developing this kind of solutions. We are pretty sure we are going to have the way to reach the. There are several, but one of the objectives the European Commission is putting us, and we believe on it. Previously, the European Commission was working for that. Is that zero landfill is possible, and we are going to reach it as soon as possible. And of course, for us, it's a way to continue with our plastics on the world. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anna. We have still from Vera. We have one question for Daniel. So Vera is saying that working in the agricultural industry, what is your opinion on the use of CRISP CAS in the future, CAS in the future? Daniel, for you.
Yes, thanks for the question. CRISPR-Cas9 is for sure an interesting technology and relatively uncomplicated to use. I think this is definitely going in the right direction. We will in future not only going with conventional type of chemistry to solve crop yield problems or improve yields or fight pests with the conventional products. They need to be used in a balance. You cannot just apply a lot of product of the same sort. So I think this CRISPR-Cas9 technology helps us definitely to move forward to to alternative type of pest control or pest fights. I would also say, but this needs to be further developed. Clearly, I mean, it is under development. It needs to be also properly assessed on the risk side. It could have. And on the third pillar, like also genetic modifications, I see also interesting area for biopesticide products used as like natural pests, beetles or products, insects which actually eat other insects which damage the crop, for instance, but also plant extract products or bacteria in addition, which are also a sustainable and good way of controlling pests to that. So the technology you mentioned for sure is an interesting one, which needs to be further looked at. It needs to be properly risk assessed, but it's not the only one. And we need in future much more of these type of technologies to go broad with that.
Thank you very much, Daniel. I have one more question for you. This one is from WAFA. I don't know if you have noticed, but we have some quite international participants today. So WAFA is from Africa, she's a researcher. So she's saying that Dow is one of the best companies working in chemicals. So what are the what are the solutions that Dow provides, especially when it comes to crops production, protection, and resilience?
This is very important. I mean, crop production, we have there several possibilities and technologies which could help there. Resilience with regards to crop resilience, I mean that could help, for instance, if you mean that making a plant more stable, you can use saveners, for instance, or also with pesticide formulations to have like products which strengthen the plant also during the spraying of crop protection products, where we have co-formulants which help really to stabilize these formulations well, to be able to apply them properly, that they have the right efficiency to improve or really improve the resilience of the products. So really saveners. On the other side, we are not only working for crop protection products, but also for fertilizers. We have at the moment a big campaign going on to improve liquid fertilizers with additives, co-formulants, where we do tests in the laboratory to improve the spreading and the uptake of fertilizers, and reduce the leaching of fertilizers into the soil, and improve the uptake of nutrients and of micronutrients to the leaves. So that helps definitely with the resilience of the plants and making them stronger. There's other options, like for instance improving the drift control of pesticides. When the farmers do spray these products diluted in water, and if you have wind, you want to make sure that where you spray it also ends up, so you have a precision delivery of your pesticide or also of your crop protection product or fertilizer to the plant. And for that, we also have rheology modifiers which improve the size of droplets, which make sure also, if you have wind, that these droplets are not dragged away and are not getting into neighboring fields or into rivers to contaminate any groundwater, or also go on plants where they should not be, which could really cause problems with cross-contamination or problems with the development of resistances, for instance, as well. So there's many ways of improving resilience of plants.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Very complete answer. One more question we have for Anna this time. So, Anna, what are the steps that someone should take in order to pursue a STEM career in a chemical company, like Repsol, for example?
Well, I think the breaches are really a lot, okay, and And even from a maths, as I was telling you, you can go to a company as Repsol, because we are, well, as Dow, we are a pretty big company. It's a chemical, but for chemicals, even analyzing data can be important. All the IT is really important in the logistics, for example, and to have even vision in physics. Geologist is not chemical, but in Repsol, as an oil and gas company, is really important, but they are STEM careers. And what are the steps to close this bridge? I have to tell something. English. Language is really important, but not only English. If you can speak 4 languages, better than 1 or better than 2 languages, are because all our businesses, all our developments are worldwide. That means that you are working all around the world with Brazilian people or with Moroccan people. I mean, it's normal to speak to several cultures. And if you are you are studying a STEM career, and after you are preparing yourself with the rest of abilities, is closing the gap. You are closing the gap to be more nearby a company as Repsol. I don't know if the answer you want, but I think I presume is the way to help you. Okay.
I think it was a great answer, and you cover the fact that there are like different types of skills. There are not only the technical skills, but there are other skills, including the languages, communication, all these skills that are needed as well. One last question, you will allow me from my side. I would like to extend a little bit the first question that we received concerning the challenge of plastics that the chemical industry is going to have to respond to. So just for both of you, so in your view, since you are both in different companies and you're from different perspectives, we can say, what do you think that are going to be like the main challenges that the chemical industry will have to respond to in the next 10, 20 years? So what are like the big questions? What are the big, like the difficult, let's say, tasks that the society is going to ask from you, basically?
Well, I'm not sure it's going to be really difficult. I mean, if you are open-minded STEM studies, you are be prepared for any change. I mean, to be in a chair, because every day, because I was not speaking to you about my day in my job, but every day is different. And every day I have a new challenge to solve. And the curiosity, the way to go from one step to the other is going to be different. I mean, I think for example, sometimes I ask people because sometimes they say me, but the plastics and this new vision, I say, it's not a new vision, now it's more visible. But the reality is that education is key. But Daniel was telling before, I mean, plastics are on the floor because they are not on the bin. I mean, they are on the sea because they are not on the bin. I mean, it's education, and all of us can solve this problem together. It's a challenge, but we can do it, and we can work for that. I mean.
Thank you very much. Daniel, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, just, I mean, you can play these questions also very big and break it down to chemistry, where Anna and myself are working in the industry, and we both have we all as a society have our share here, and that's where also the new generations to come, the new chemists and people working in STEM to come need to work on these problems, specifically talking about the climate change, the reduction of CO2 emissions, the feeding the world, having enough food available in future to feed all of us, and being sustainable in doing that. And all our activities, our new products, developments should be guided and directed in that way. That means we should maybe think more about the reuse of product, the reduction of use, and then the recycling, and in the end maybe the thermal use of plastics to reduce the CO2 emissions, helping to improve our climatic conditions, that we still have a lot of long and a lot of fun on this planet, and keeping pollution to an absolute minimum, and looking that we are not consuming too much energy either by doing that. So it's going towards sustainability clearly, and helping the mega trends, and that can be also done by digitalization and all the new technologies we have, by e-mobility, for instance. I think these are things which open up a lot of new jobs and interesting careers for the people, for the generations to come.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So with this, I think it was like a nice finishing, a nice summary, basically. So with this, we are going to wrap up our webinar for today. So to our presenters, many thanks for all your contribution, all your rich answers, and for sharing your experiences with us. And to our participants, thank you very much for joining us. In the upcoming days, we're going to send you like a follow-up mail with a feedback survey, and we will also upload the recording of the webinar on the related websites. So thanks again for taking part in the STEM Alliance Scientix webinar, and we hope to see you all soon in one of our next events. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thanks for everything. Bye.
Thank you for everything. Have a nice
evening.
Bye.
Bye.